Hi, I'm Richard, New Life Scientific, and today I want to talk about microfluidics units that are homogenizers that we carry, and we have right now, I'm surrounded by a forest of units, and we're going to talk about the power supply for one, and we're also going to talk about a little bit what we offer here at New Life Scientific as in follow-up support or even setting these machines up. But we're going to kind of start at the smaller scale, and you can see I have the back of this unit off. This is the LV1. This is made to do your research and development for syringe-sized microfluidics, and we're going to come back to this one because we're going to talk about the power supply on these. We have a lot of European customers that are always asking questions about running these machines in Europe, and we want to address that in this video, and along with some plumbing things that we offer also. But we're just going to do a quick walk around so you can see everything I have here. Like I said, we have the LV1 here for your basic research and development. A lot of universities like these. Then we kind of scale up to another bench top. We have the M110P here, 30,000 PSI ability. It's got the hydraulic system in it that's totally electric driven, so that you don't need any pneumatics. But this one here also, and then if you're on a tight budget, we also have the pneumatic driven version, and this can be run off of a nitrogen tank like we have over here that I have set here. And then we move to kind of the semi-production model. We have a lot of customers kind of in the hemp business that do small quantities. That this works great. It runs the production that they need. This particular unit here, I believe, is sold being shipped to Europe. So that was one of my customers that had a question on the power source on this one, and we're going to address that one a little bit too. And once you move from this size here, then we go up to the full production unit, which is the M700 model. This one is really high production because it actually has the dual cylinders in it, and it has the dual chambers with the multi-channel to really give you a lot of volume. So depending on what PSI you need to run this at, depending on the volume. And then also another M700 unit over here that has the single pump on it, and I believe this one has the 30,000 PSI capability. But like I said, we carry just a diverse type of equipment. But I want to talk about the power source for these units, because the company that makes these are actually located in Canada, so they're really friendly with preparing these to be powered in Europe and US both. So we're going to come around the back and we're going to look at the motors that they put in them. And this is a versatile motor, and that's the one thing we're always looking for, because in Europe they're going to need different hertz and they need different voltages. So they put that motor in there to be versatile, and you can see they have the low and high voltage wiring diagram. So simply just rewiring the motor for Europe is pretty much all that's needed, besides changing out the plug end, because right now this is a 110. And what's nice about this unit here in particular, and maybe some of the other units might be a little bit differently, but they have the power source here that is powered by different power sources to produce your 24 volt. So you got 100 to 240 volt AC that can come into this. So it just simply recognizes your power source, and again 50 and 60 hertz. So very friendly for our European customers. So this just stays the way it is, and it powers the motor starter on this particular unit, so nothing really needs changed on this, but rewiring the motor and a little bit of wiring here and a new plug on this one, and that'll get the customer what they need for their power source in Europe with their 220 50 hertz. And then again over here on this next size one, very similar again, has a touch screen. It has the same concept. It has a power supply running 24 volts and then actuating all the solenoids off of 24 volts, similar to the LV1. And then again, just rewiring the motor and possibly the motor starter. And we're going to look at the one over here next, which is the 110EH30. This is the one where it is going to Europe, and this one is a little bit simple. I love it because I love simple. Yeah, having the touch screen is nice and be able to look at different parameters, but this is just very simple. It just has your pressure gauge here, and you get your pressure that you need, and you can lock it down so that you're not going to ruin your pressure gauge. You just have a simple emergency shut-off button. You have your intensifier on and off, and then you have your pressure control here that you can adjust your pressure and dial it in on the gauge here. And then you also have the simple lock where you can lock that so it don't move on there. But it's very simple. You just have your power coming in into your starter assembly here, and then you just have a motor that it powers. This one does require pneumatics because rather than having the solenoids that would have electrical solenoids to kind of control all your hydraulic valves, this one is pneumatically controlled, which is actually very nice, and it gives it a lot faster function, much quicker reactions under pneumatic. So in order for the machine to even power on, you have to have air, and then it actually triggers a pneumatic sensor that recognizes you have air, and then it'll actually allow you to turn the machine on. And really what it comes down to, and for a European customer, is, obviously they're going to have compressed air, so that's not an issue. It's probably right here in the starter box. This starter box is being controlled off of the power source that's coming in it. So right now this one's 3-phase low voltage, and say we have a customer that says, yeah, I need it rewired for 400 because most of the 3-phase in Europe is going to be 380 to 440 volts. So in this starter here, we would just simply need to change out the coil pack, and just a small component, I think it's only like $25, depending where you purchase it. And then we would get in the back of the machine, similar to the LV1, we would just rewire that motor for high voltage so that when it gets to Europe, and then of course the plug on it, they would probably need to put their plug on it, depending on their outlet size. So like I say, because of the company is very good about kind of gearing up for having power source from anywhere in the world, they've really used the equipment needed to make it simple and do a quick changeover, and that's why I really like their product, and a very friendly company too to work with for different parts. All the parts are available. We carry a lot of parts on hand too. We actually have our own fabrication shop. We actually can cut and thread high pressure fittings for the high pressure system. Sometimes when we install gauges, we'll install the shutoff, and we'll cut and thread and install the high pressure tubing also. And then when you get over into the full production models, again, you have a lot of plumbing in it, where you have your heat exchangers and you have your temperature gauges and different things measuring the temperatures coming off. And a lot of these fittings need to be kind of custom built, especially when you get into your thimble pieces where you need exact sizes to fit in. And we also are able to weld up different thimble sizes with our laser welder using the 316 stainless steel. So we're capable of kind of setting these units up and doing a little custom work for our customers, and also assisting in getting the right power supply and having this machine ready to meet the need when you get it there. This particular machine is actually being run off of low voltage, so you can actually see this massive power cord coming in here. And I think if we come around the other side, you'll recognize just how heavy duty these wires coming off of that motor. It's got a 50 horsepower low voltage motor in it right now. But obviously the previous customer that had this didn't have access to high voltage, and normally you would want to run this off of high voltage if you possibly can. And if that's needed, we can actually rewire this unit also for high voltage. And then on this next machine here, this one actually is already wired with high voltage, and the wiring on it is much smaller and a little easier to work with. And you can see the control panel for this one here. Again, say a customer doesn't have access to high voltage, we could easily put in a couple things here that would need to be changed. The breaker size would need to be increased to go with low voltage, and then your starters, you have your primary and then you have your soft starter here. Those both would need to be bumped up, and then obviously the wiring all bumped up to higher size. So those are some of the things that we can assist in doing. The transformer can stay because it's already ready for the 460 high voltage. It's just simply changing out your supply lines and moving them to the different contacts there. So some of those things are what we can assist in here to make sure the customer is getting a machine that works for their environment, works for their abilities in their lab or in their production facility, whether it's plumbing, whether it's electrical assistance. We're here to help you out. But I just wanted to answer at the end of this video, yes, these microfluidics systems are very simple to accommodate customers all over the world, regardless of their electrical needs. So even the pneumatic one over there, I think everybody has access to compressed air nitrogen tanks. So that one, if you can't get anything else besides that, that would definitely be the route to go. But I think that covers about everything. There's a lot more detail, but just giving you the assurance that we here at New Life Scientific can accommodate your electrical needs for these machines and help you set it up. If you got any questions, give us a call here. And again, I'm Rich with New Life Scientific, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you.